Never in my life did I expect to cover the Scientific American on this channel. But then again, I don't think any person expected that they're going to be reading about Jedis in the Scientific American. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Scientific American is a very old and prestigious publication where a lot of high-profile scientists have posted, including Albert Einstein. And now it's being co-opted by a bunch of twats who are trying to make this publication into toilet paper. I mean, when you start talking about Jedis, you're already lowering the quality to kindergarten level. So let's see what this is about. Why the Jedi is problematic. By the way, I hate when you use the word problematic for things that aren't actually problematic. I mean, you're being a drama llama. Problematic would be if you work at a nuclear reactor and there's black smoke coming from within the core, but all the dials are showing that things are nominal and everything is fine. Now that is a problematic situation. People using the word Jedi is not problematic. What problematic stands for is shit no one cares, but we want you to care. That's literally what it is. Like every time, just replace it when you read it online, and you read it, it's like, why the term Jedi is shit no one cares, but we want you to care. So it's describing programs that promote justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Now, when you look at it, and you read the article, it says that there's a lot of people within the science sector, within STEM, that are using Jedi, and because of that, they are now being thought police. So they use Jedi because it means justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Now, to me, this is cringy as fuck. I mean, these are people, adults, with the mind of children. It's appropriate for a teenager to be attached to Star Wars. But you're a grown-ass man. Can you not use something that's real? Can you not just move away from childlike things? I don't know, I'm just saying, you know, maybe I'm the one that is a little bit reactionary and thinks that maybe it's time to grow the fuck up. Maybe it's time, when you write in the Scientific American, that you actually write about science and not kids shit. And yes, you know what? Maybe it's time that we do consider geeky stuff to be kid shit. Now, it's okay if you're a grown-ass adult and you still like kids shit. That's fine. But when it becomes the core of your existence, when it becomes the core of your essence, maybe that's not fine. I'm just saying, you know, it's just me. Like, I wouldn't want to be operated by a doctor whose core existence is reading Star Wars. I would rather be operated by a doctor whose core existence is about reading medical literature, so he doesn't botch up the surgery. It's just me, you know, like, maybe you're different. So, not only that, you know, but now that they're going into this, they don't even understand what the Jedi are. They're doing a Sargon. They're doing a boomerism, so they don't understand. Why are the Jedi problematic? Well, because, I mean, you're going to get hit with a load of buzzwords here, so get ready. Whether intentionally or not, the labels we choose for our justice-oriented initiative open them up to a broader universe of association, branding them with meaning, and in the case of Jedi, branding them to consumer brands. Oh, well, what a shock, you know? Like, you live in an age where all corporations support social justice, to the point where you get Gillette, where you get Pepsi, and all that, because everything is political, right? So, yes, consumer brands are political. So, therefore, whether you like it or not, you live in this woke capitalism, a system where corporations pretend to be against capitalism in order to sell a product to people who also pretend to dislike capitalism. Through its connection to Star Wars, today Jedi can be associated, can associate our justice work with stories and stereotypes that are a galaxy far, far away from those values of justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Man, you know, I would love if the people who make Star Wars would also have this mindset, like, okay, justice is very important. Let's move the fuck away from it and just be entertaining. But anyway, as we can argue, blah, 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 here's the reason why. The Jedi are inappropriate mascots for social justice. Although they're ostensibly heroes within the Star Wars universe, the Jedi are inappropriate symbols for justice work. They are a religious order. Okay, this is where you lost me. The Jedi are not a religious order. This is only in the low IQ brain of Sargon of Akkad. Number one, the Force within the Star Wars universe is real. It's not something that only the Jedis believe in. They can go in front of a person and cause an object to levitate. So that's the laws of the universe. In other ways, it's not even paranormal. It's actually scientific. You can actually measure someone's midichlorians. So you can study the Force using science. There's scientific theory. So no, they're not a religious order. Not to mention, they're not interested in converting people. The Jedi are more like the mutants from X-Men. Like you have these people that have supernatural abilities. They're in tune with the Force. And the Jedi realize that these people are a danger to themselves and those around them. So they try to recruit these people into the Jedi Order in order to train them in the ways of the Force so they stop being a danger. So when you think about the Jedi, you need to think about Xavier and his school of mutants. It's not a religious order at all. They're prone to white saviorism. I don't know where they get this. I mean, the Jedis are incredibly diverse. Even when you apply human standards, Mace Windu is a very popular Jedi character. But whatever, you know, I mean, this is the Scientific American we're talking about, okay? It's not the BuzzFeed, it's not, no. This is a prestigious publication. These people are mentally insane. Did you understand? The insane people have taken over the asylum. Why are these people posting here? Because no one has the balls of calling them out. They are gatekeeping. They have managed to infiltrate Scientific American, and all the other scientists are fucking cowards for not calling these people out for the hacks that they are. So the Jedi are toxically masculine, approaching to conflict as resolution. Approaching to conflict as resolution is not a masculine thing necessarily, okay? Women do it too. But if you're saying that approaching to conflict as resolution is a bad thing, how are you going to deal with ISIS? Just out of pure curiosity, how did you deal with the Nazi Germans? The idea of harmlessness as a virtue, because if you're not harmless, then you're toxic masculinity, is also mental illness. These people are like if you put these people on an island, they would not survive. They can't. It's impossible. Like, what do you do when you have, I don't know, heaven forbid, a school shooter? What do you do? The only way to neutralize the threat is through conflict. Now, there is justifiable conflict and there is bad conflict. Conflict in self-defense is acceptable in almost any situation across the world. Like, I don't know any culture that looks at self-defense as a bad thing, except maybe the Brits. Like, in Britain, you're not even allowed to buy a watchdog, a guard dog. Like, even that you need a license for. So maybe in the UK, but everywhere else. So anyway, violent duels with phallic lightsabers. Like, I'm sorry to say, but all swords have a phallic shape, I guess. I mean, these people are perverted. Like, they look at lightsabers and they see penises. And these are the people that are now in the Scientific American. And you tell me, and you tell people like me, we need to trust the science. Man, I trust the science, but I don't trust the scientists. I mean, the scientists seem to suffer from brain damage. Like, they look at lightsabers and they see dildos. Like, how can I take these people seriously? I'm sorry, I would be mentally ill if I were to take these people seriously. And then you talk about gaslighting by means of Jedi mind tricks. Like, first of all, Jedi mind trick is not gaslighting. It's pure brainwashing. And you're not against gaslighting when you write this article. This is literally the article you write. It's about thought policing people. It's like, oh, so they're using Jedis. This is why you shouldn't. Okay, if you use Jedi, you're a bad person. Unfucking real. The Jedi are also an exclusionary cult. First of all, they're not a cult. Secondly, being exclusionary is not a bad thing. In fact, society functions better when things are exclusionary. For example, if you have a club about science, like the Scientific American, you would want only scientists to post in it. Being inclusive leads to this shit. Membership to which is partly predicated on the possession of heightened psychic and physical abilities. Yes, because that's literally why the Jedi were created, in order to get the people who have psychic activities that are a danger to themselves and others to control them. Like what these scientists would do if the Star Wars universe was real, they wouldn't have a solution for the Force-sensitive people. Now, the Force-sensitive people, if left unchecked, they can end up joining the dark side and creating massive monsters, because the dark side, it taps into your passions, into your emotions, and it wants you to become more powerful just for the sake of being powerful. So you have Jedis that enslave entire planets when they turn to the dark side, because they have so much knowledge and power that they manage to enslave or take the life force away from entire planet. Scientific America would say, and that's a good thing. They would probably add at the end of it. It's like, here's why the Sith enslaved an entire planet, and that's a good thing. Because they wouldn't be able to come up with the solution. It's like, okay, maybe the people who are Force sensitive need to be trained in this so that they don't end up hurting those around them. Not to mention, like, global warming in Star Wars is literally the same as hurting the Force. That's why it's called bringing balance to the Force by eliminating the dark side, because the dark side is like a wound to the Force. It hurts the Force. It uses the Force to bend it and turn it into a weapon. So when you eliminate the dark side, you bring balance to the Force the same way you bring balance to an organism. Like you destroy the virus, and now you have harmony in the body. That's what bringing balance to the Force means. Force-wielding talents are narratively explained in Star Wars not merely in spiritual terms, but also in ableist and eugenic ones. These supernatural powers are naturalized as biological hereditary attributes. So is that the Force potential is framed as a dynastic property of noble bloodlines. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, the Jedis are actually trying to prevent this from happening by not allowing its members to have children. Do you not watch the movies? Now, of course, there are exceptions, but normally, if anything, the Jedi are trying to prevent... I guess, yes, like the Jedis, you could say they're eugenists in a way, because they don't allow their members to have children. But that's a good thing in the Star Wars universe, by the way. Force disparities are rendered innate physical properties measured via midichlorians. So, again, if you don't like this, are you going to make an article talking about Scientology? Like, literally what you're saying here, you'd also complain about Scientology, right? Because they're measuring the tetons amongst people. And you find that horrible, because some people can have different tetons levels, and blah, oh my God, differences. I don't get it. So let's say you have a basketball team and you just want to get tall people because you think that tall people can shoot hoops better. Now, being tall, like, a part of it might be hereditary. So, well, like, are basketball teams problematic? I guess they are. And then they go on and they talk about slavery. I can't. Look how much garbage, man. Look how much garbage. In the Scientific American, for fuck's sakes. This requires people to be unable to mention the word Scientific American without their sides flying into orbit. This is showing that the Scientific American is literally at the same level as The Onion, at the same level as Babylon Bee. I mean, the very fact that there aren't people sending letters to the editors of Scientific American asking them WTF shows that, I guess, people just stopped caring, you know? Just stopped caring. But these are the scientists, the expert, that are going to get to decide in the future how you live your life. Yeah, big shame. What can I say? Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.